Hello everyone, I'm going to show you why I love the Ninja DualBrew model number CFP201. So this coffee maker will let you brew normal coffee into a glass carafe, and it will also let you brew a single serve K-cup. I really like the look of this Ninja. It's got a power switch here, you can turn it on and off. It's got a clock for display. It's got this dial here you turn. When you've got the K-cup pot adapter in, you can do 6, 8, 10, 12 ounces. You can also do a classic brew with a K-cup, a rich, or an over ice. So right now I've got the K-cup pot adapter in. When we lift this up, it shows where you put the K-cup in. There's a needle in the bottom and 3 needles on the top. When you put the K-cup in and close it, it's going to pierce the top and the bottom. But if we want to brew a pot of coffee, we can take this K-cup pot adapter out. So we move this lever back to remove, and then we can lift this whole adapter out. And now we've got our cone filter basket. This takes a number 4 cone filter that you can put right in here. And then you can put your coffee grounds in here. And it does have a nice scoop on the side to show you how much coffee grounds to put in here. And then when you get your coffee grounds in here, you can slide for coffee grounds. This is the brew head for the hot water to brew over the coffee grounds. And then your display changes automatically. So when I put this in, now I've got more selections on sizes. I can do a full carafe, which is this glass carafe. There is a warming plate down here that will keep the coffee warm, and I can turn that warming plate on and off. I can do a classic, rich, and over ice, even with the full pot of coffee. And I can do all kinds of different sizes, 46 ounce, 37. Now when I get into this like 18 ounce travel mug, it automatically turns the warming plate off. So anytime the carafe is selected, like up in here, the warming plate will be on, but when I'm doing travel mugs or coffee cups, really small amounts, the warming plate will not be on. And then there's this little drop down. So when you want to brew into a coffee mug, you can just put that little tray down and brew right into it. Going back up here to the coffee grounds, so we can take this out, lift this up, slide this out. There's that brew head. So when we slide it forward, this tube here makes contact, and that's how the hot water gets to the brew head. And then when we want to put it back in, okay, so when you want to put the brew head in, just slide it in from the back. And there's how it goes. And then when we want to put the pot adapter in, we'll take our filter out. Here's the K-cup pot adapter. We put it in, then we got to slide it forward. And then we can open this up to show where the K-cup goes. Over here on the right hand side, it's got a nice big reservoir that we can take on and off. I like that you can take the reservoir on and off because you can get inside there and clean it really good. It's got some markings on the side. Over here on the left, there is a storage for the scoop that works really well, and here's what it looks like around back. So with the K-cup pot adapter up, it is right about 19 inches. So it comes with a very nice glass carafe. It's got the mixing tube, so the coffee is going to go down this little tube and kind of get mixed up. We can take it on and off. It does have a drip stop function, so when you're done brewing coffee, if you want the coffee to stop coming out the bottom of the filter basket, you just throw that over to close. Or if you want to grab a quick cup of coffee, throw that to close, it'll stop the brew, and then throw it back to open, and it'll finish the brew. Okay, so let's brew a K-cup, and then we'll do a pot of coffee. Let's put the little tray down. Let's put our glass right there. Up here now, I've got the Ninja pod adapter in, so we're just going to lift it up. You're just going to place the K-cup in there, and then you're just going to close it, and it pierces both the top and the bottom of the K-cup. So with the K-cup in there, I can do a classic, rich, or over ice. I'm going to do a classic. I like to brew my K-cups on 8 ounces. And all you do is, to start the brew, just press that center button. So it starts brewing right away, and it's not a very loud coffee maker. So we're at 175 right now, 180, ramping up, 185. 188, 190, 192. Looks like it's staying around 192, 193. And in less than a minute, you're going to have an 8-ounce cup of coffee from a K-Cup. Okay, so it beeps at us and tells us that it's done. So let's see what we end up with. About a 165 degree cup of coffee. Here's what the cup of coffee looks like, and it tastes really good. I do enjoy the taste of the K-Cup in this machine. Okay, so now let's take the K-Cup out. You're simply just going to lift this up. We pull the K-Cup out. Be careful, these can be hot. Now we're going to take this pot adapter out. You're going to slide this little lever back to the remove spot, and then the whole pot adapter lifts out. We still have our brew basket in here. Now we're going to take our number 4 cone filter, put it in there like that. Grab our scoop. I'm going to do a half a carafe, so I'm going to do 3 to 5 of these big scoops. This just takes standard coffee for like a drip coffee maker, ground at a medium grind. So I like my coffee a little strong. I put 4 big scoops of coffee in there. Now the next thing we do is we just simply slide this forward until it clicks, and you'll see the display changes. Okay, so I put the tray up. We're going to slide the carafe in there now. I've got the drip stop to open. Now since I've got the brew basket in there, I can select a half a carafe, which is 37 or 28 ounces. Let's do 37. I can do a classic, a rich, or over ice. Let's do a rich brew and just hit the start button. Again, it starts brewing right away. My keep warm light came on. That lets me know that the warming plate underneath the carafe is on. And there'll be kind of a progression. These lights will go all the way to the end to let me know where it is in the brew process. So it does brew for for a little bit, and then it pauses. And now after it pauses for about 3 or 5 seconds, it'll finish the brew continuously. There's the coffee coming out. Okay, so let's check the temperature of the water coming out of the bottom of the coffee. 190. So the coffee coming out of the bottom of the brew basket is 190. And what I like about this, so this drip stop, so say it's brewed a little bit and I want to grab a quick cup of coffee. Just throw that to close. It stops the coffee. I can pour me a quick cup of coffee. Put it back, throw that back to open, and then it'll finish the brew. This is a relatively quick coffee maker. To do a full carafe, which is 12 cups, takes about 8 to 10 minutes. You can also program this coffee cup or this coffee maker to come on for you in the morning. It can brew a K-Cup in the morning for you automatically, or a full pot of coffee, or a travel mug. And that's when you use this delay feature. Okay, so it beeps at us, lets it know it's done. You're going to want to move the drip stop over to close, or it will drip on you when you take the carafe out. So let's pour ourselves a cup of coffee. The carafe pours really nice. Let's see how hot that cup of coffee is. About 170, 172, 173. That's a really hot cup of coffee. And the warming plate will keep the carafe nice. Okay, so let's slide this open and see how the coffee grounds, how it brewed the coffee grounds. So it did a really good job. Now cleanup is very easy. You can just take this out. It will not drip on you when you go over to your trash can, and then you can just dump out all of that. So another nice feature about this is the over ice. So I'm going to brew some over ice. I put another filter in. I put some scoops of coffee in. There's a chart in the manual that shows you exactly how much to put in for each selection. The warming plate is not warm anymore. So now I've got my tumbler here. I've got it full of ice. I'm going to put it underneath there, open the drip stop. So when you brew over ice, you want to select the size of the container. It's going to take into account how much ice is in there. So I'm going to do a 16 ounce Let's do a 12. Let's do a 12 ounce. This is a 14 ounce tumbler. I'm going to select over ice, and then you just hit the brew button. So since I'm brewing over ice, it does not turn the warming plate on. It starts brewing right away, but then it pauses for about 5 seconds, and then it'll finish the brew. So you can even make iced coffee in this carafe. You could fill this whole carafe up with ice and brew an over ice into it also. Okay, so that doesn't take very long. Make sure you put the drip stop to close. There we've got a nice iced coffee. Again, let's look and see how the coffee grounds did. Yep, looks like it did a pretty good job. So I really love the versatility of this machine. You can do an iced coffee. You can do a K-cup if you want to just do a single serve K-cup. You can do a full pot 12 cup of coffee. I can program this thing to come on in the morning automatically and brew me some coffee. I like the looks of it. I like how the buttons work. It's just a very nice coffee maker, and I'm glad I bought it. Thanks everybody for watching.